Are you thinking about buying your first gun? Or have you made the decision to buy your first gun and you just haven't bought it yet? And it seems like there's so many options of different types of guns and brands and makes and models and styles and calibers. There's a lot of things to consider before you go and get your first gun. So today we're going to talk about 5 tips to help a new gun buyer make the right decision. Stay with me. What's up, warriors? This is Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you find your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, and you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. At my police shop, I'm a firearms and tactics instructor. I'm not permanently assigned there. I wish I was, because man, that's a fun spot to be. But one of my side jobs is that 5 Elements Tactical Training started out as firearms instruction it's to help police officers too, like they're getting ready to do their annual qualification and they feel like they're a little bit rusty, or maybe their qualification didn't go so well. They want to do better, so they come to me and I help them refine their basics and their fundamentals and all that stuff. But the vast majority of my students are new gun owners. So they bought a gun from the gun store, and there's a few gun stores around that give out my card. Say if you want instruction, call Dave Herman. Oh man, he'll help you out. There are so many parts of a conversation that I have with new gun owners. Like, they've already went to the gun store, they bought a gun, they have the gun, and now they're calling me, to help them learn how to use it safely and effectively and all that type of stuff. And a lot of those parts of the conversation, I wish I was able to have with them before they bought the gun. I think that, not all the time, but a lot of times, they either would have gone with a different, instead of a shotgun, maybe they would have got a pistol, or instead of a pistol, maybe they would have got a rifle, or maybe they would have got a different caliber size, or a different size of gun, so it would fit them better. And it's not their fault, they didn't know, and it's not the gun store's fault. They probably went in there and said, oh, I need to have a 12-gauge shotgun because my cousin told me to get it. And a lot of times the advice that they're given, it's not wrong, it's like what was best for the person who told you what to go get, right? So today we're going to talk about 5 tips that'll help you make a better decision before you go and buy your first gun. Alright, so this first one is not even really a tip. I guess it's like the thing that you should figure out before you even go any further. And it's know your why, or your purpose. Like, why do you want a gun? If it's for hunting purposes, then that will kind of take you down a certain road. If you're doing it for shooting clays and sports type of shooting, that's a different road. If it's for home defense or personal defense or self-defense, that's a different road. And for whatever purpose you're looking for, make sure that it's lawful in your area. So I live in New York, and we got some funky rules, man, that make it pretty challenging for law-abiding citizens to be able to legally and lawfully and all that stuff have a gun, own a gun, and forget about carry a gun. So first things first is know what your purpose is. Why do you want the gun? And that'll help kind of guide you in which direction to look. And of course, make sure that everything you do, that you're doing it legally. That's most important. You don't want to get in trouble. Tip number 1 is find a gun that fits you. So this is going to require some research, a lot of research. You go down the Google rabbit hole and the YouTube rabbit hole, and for whatever your purpose of wanting to have a firearm is, go down and look up best home defense gun for beginners, for females, for whatever your demographic is, whatever your area is. Best gun in whatever your area on the globe that you're in. Then you got to figure out, well, is it going to be a pistol, a rifle, a shotgun? What caliber bullet are you looking for? Like, the bigger the bullet, more times the bigger the bang when it goes off. Can you hold it? Like, if you're looking for a certain type of gun, you want to find one that fits your hand, fits your grip, that you could lift it, that you could hold it, that you could aim it, that you could fire it. And after it goes off, is it going to knock you over? Or can you handle the recoil? Can you handle the kick? Can you handle the shock of it all? And one of the reasons for doing all the research and not just asking your friend or your neighbor or your relative, because oftentimes they're going to give you the thing that's best for them. I can't tell you how many times I've had a new gun owner come to me and they're like, I asked them, well, what did you get? And they said, I got a shotgun. I said, oh, wow, okay. What gauge? I wanted a 12 gauge, which that's a hefty gun, And then when I meet the student and I'm like, oh my God, I've had, females in close to their 70s come in with a 12 gauge shotgun. I'm like, why did you get this? And they said, oh, all my cousins, in the Midwest, they told me you got to have a shotgun. Make sure it's a 12 gauge shotgun. I said, and then you went to the gun store and they let you buy this? It could be pretty shocking. So what's right for somebody else may not be right for you, and that's why you want to do your research. Once you figure out what's right for you, the next step is, well, all right, if that's the gun that I want, how am I going to keep it safe in my house? Which takes us to tip 2, which is find a gun safe or gun locker that's right for you. So if you're doing it for like hunting purposes, well, any gun safe or any gun locker, more or less, for a beginner will be fine. It could be in the basement, it could be in the bedroom closet. It doesn't really matter where it is, so long as that it's going to keep it, of course, safe and dry, and that somebody like curious eyes and minds can't get to it. As long as it's locked up and nobody could get to it, and it's not like in a humid place where it's going to get rusty and give you all sorts of problems down the road, then if it's for hunting purposes, not as much of a big deal. Whereas if you're getting it for home defense, well, you're going to want it close where you can get to it, right? In the middle of the night, in the dark, without your glasses, like under stress or duress, where like you hear that bump in the night, like, oh my God. Maybe you would need something with a fingerprint or something with a key instead of a combination lock. Again, this one's going to take a lot of research, like a lot of research. So once you know which gun you're going to get and the purpose for which you're going to have it, well, then we start to look at which safe or gun cabinet or gun locker is going to be best for you, your purpose, and the gun that you selected. So again, asking somebody else, if you're going to ask somebody else, make sure that the person you're asking has the same type of gun for the same type of purpose, if that makes sense, because that'll help them give you better advice. When it comes to a gun safe or a gun cabinet or a gun locker, a lot of factors to consider. Some of them have like a, you punch in a code. Other ones you put your fingerprint on it. Other ones it's going to have a combination like when your high school locker. Others will have a key. So depending on how quickly you need to access that, that should help you determine that part of it. The size of the case, safe, locker, cabinet, whatever. I have several. So like I have a big one that I keep most of my stuff in. I have smaller ones that I have just like my firearm that I use for work. I have one on each floor of the house that if I was, whichever floor I was on, if I needed to grab one quickly, I have a loaded pistol with an extra magazine and a flashlight ready to go, like that, because that's my home defense part. The one that holds like all of my guns, like my armory, let's say, well, that has some guns and some gun parts and some extra magazines and any loaded magazines that I may have, and it stores a lot of stuff. But again, you have to figure out what your purpose is, what your firearm is, and what you want to be holding in there. So if it's just for home defense, well, maybe you need a spot for your gun, a flashlight, and an extra magazine for whatever type of gun it is that you have. If it's for like sporting or hunting or whatever, well, maybe you want something bigger that's going to hold your gun and your case and your scope and your extra ammunition and your cleaning kit. And again, that's where you do your research and find out what's best for you. Tip 3 is find a gun store for you. Now that might sound like well, wouldn't any store work? If you're not picky, then any store probably would work. But I tell my students, there's a few stores that I recommend them, I refer them to, because they also, I have a good relationship with them, and I know that they're going to do right by the customer or by my student. What I mean by that is, I've gone to gun stores where they were just like downright nasty when I walked in. That's still like a service business, like if you're going to be mean to me, then I'm not going to shop here and give you my money. Or I've gone into stores over the years where they have no time to talk to me. They don't want to answer my questions. Like, hey, when there's like low supply and high demand, I get it, they're busy, and that's cool, I get it. But you still got to be nice to your clientele, because when times are tough for you, they're going to remember that and decide, well, am I going to go back to the nice guys and friendly guys and helpful guys, or am I going to go find somewhere else? So I always tell like people who are thinking about buying a gun, go shop around first and find the store that appeals to you best. Because the people in there, if they're trying to push you something that you don't need or that you don't want, or you ask for a certain type of gun and they're trying to give you something different, I would trust my gut. If I felt like they were being pushy and salesman-y, then maybe that's not the place for me, right? The other thing is that you want them to be like helpful and patient and like taking the time. This is an important decision, right? Like, especially if you're new and you're not exactly sure, because, hey, you could say, all right, I want this type of gun in this type of caliber. Now what? And you go there and there's going to be like 1,000 options. Which one do you get? Again, more research, but asking the guys in the gun store, if you feel comfortable, like you get a good vibe from them, like they're being honest and helpful and really like trying to help you make the right decision, then maybe that's the place you should go. And oftentimes they're going to help steer you in the direction of like best gun, best case, best ammunition. Again, they're in the business to make money too, but in my experience, sometimes the best places have said, listen, you're just starting out, this is what I have, but when I started out, I had these things. So they're looking to help you like conserve money, get like best bang for your buck, but you don't need like the expert level stuff in the beginning. So shop around, get a feel for the stores. If you walk in and something about it like rubs you wrong right in the beginning and you don't feel safe in there, man, red flag, get out. If you go in there and you feel like they're super pushy, get out. If you feel like they're not very knowledgeable or they can't answer some basic questions, get out. You want to be comfortable in making this purchase. You don't want to feel rushed. You want to take your time, do your homework, and have people that are going to answer your questions for you. So in my opinion, finding a good store with good people and good staff and good vibe. So if you don't feel that, maybe that's not the right store for you. Another thing that a good gun store should be able to help you with is finding a good gun instructor, a good firearms instructor, which takes us to number 4. Tip number 4 is finding a good instructor for you. Now, I know plenty of people who learned how to shoot from their friend, their cousin, their relative, their buddy who shoots all the time, you know, a hunter class or whatever, and that's all good as long as the person that's teaching you is a professional. I used to help people because I'm a gun guy, so if I had a friend who would like, hey, you know more than I do, and I would go help them, and I'm a good teacher. I've been teaching martial arts forever. I was a school teacher, have my degree in teaching, but before I was a firearms instructor, I would help people, and I'm sure I was helping, like, hey, the most important things is the 4 rules of firearm safety, keep it pointed in a safe direction, and all that stuff. But when I learned how to be a firearms instructor, that really took my teaching level with firearms to a whole nother level. And then teaching for a while took it to an even bigger, better level. So the reason I say that is not to impress you, but to impress upon you that when you're looking for an instructor, this is a really, really important thing. And setting good habits right from the beginning is of supreme importance because it's all about safety for you and the people around you. So you want to find an instructor who is professional, who has been teaching for a while, who maybe you get some references either from the gun store. They say, hey, no, we've sent a lot of people to this person and they're all happy and he's good or she's good. Yeah, I trust them. Go to them. Or you get referred to them by other people who have trained with that person. Ultimately, an instructor should be knowledgeable and experienced and you know, patient and enthusiastic. And when you go to meet up with them or you talk to them before you go for your lesson, you want to feel comfortable and relaxed, especially like when you're first starting out. Learning about firearms should be a very relaxed environment. The stress will come later on. Once you know how to shoot and you're going to start doing tactical stuff and speed drills, well, then we introduce that, but that's like way down the road. In the beginning, I want you to feel relaxed because I don't want you like turning and pointing the gun at me or somebody else like accidentally. So everything's got to be really chill. So when you're looking for an instructor, first, professionalism, good reputation, that they're definitely knowledgeable, they know their stuff, they have experience doing it, that they have like referrals or people that they referrals upon request or whatever you call that. When you're first starting out, it's really all about safety and fundamentals of marksmanship. These are the rules of safety. How do we like go about loading, unloading, reloading, cleaning, taking the gun apart? And when we're doing all those things, how do we do it so that we're making sure we abide by the 4 cardinal rules of firearm safety? Oftentimes, you're going to get what you pay for. So I've had friends who went to like cheap lessons or cheap instructors, and when they see what they got out of it, I say, well, you know, oftentimes you get what you pay for. That doesn't mean you have to go with the most expensive person, but oftentimes the person that's going to be best for you, it's not going to be cheap, but it'll definitely be worth it. Tip 5, find a range that's best for you. So when you're looking to find a range that's best for you, what you're really looking for is it convenient to get to? Like, is it close or is it so far that it's going to be so inconvenient that you're never going to go? I tell my students once a month, aim for once a month. If you could go more than that, great. If you could do once a week, wow, that's better than most people out there. But if you could like once a month just to keep like the cobwebs out and the rust off and keep your skills from perishing, well, that's a good thing. So you want a range that's going to be close enough that you could get there once a month. You want something that's going to be like affordable. Like I have some ranges that are close by that I wish I could go to, but they're so expensive. It's like a club, and I don't roll like that, man. So something that's close enough to get to at least once a month, something that's within your budget. It's important that you know the rules too. So like if you're going to go to a range and they only let you shoot certain ammunition and that's not like feasible for you, then that won't work. If they have certain days and times and their schedule won't work, that won't work. If you go there and like the staff or the range safety officers are very lax and you feel like they're not making the place stay safe, that's a red flag too. Like there are ranges that I go to that I feel like when I'm there, I am the range safety officer, and I'm not working, I'm not nobody's boss, and I've left the range because I felt like it was unsafe. So finding a range is really important too, and these are good and reasonable questions to ask and things to look for before you like frequent a range, or if it's a place that requires a membership, before you join the range. If it's a local public place, you know, ask around first. Ask the gun store too. They could oftentimes help you. If you have a good instructor, oftentimes they can help you. But making sure you have a good place to go practice and keep your skills sharp is just as important as all the other stuff. All right, so quick review. The 5 tips for a new gun owner or a new gun purchaser is 1, making sure that you find the right gun for you, the best way for you to keep it safe, the best store to go find all your stuff at, a good instructor to help you, and a good range that you can go practice at. Hey, and one of my favorite parts about this channel is that there's so much knowledge in the subscribers and viewers and all you guys that chime in with the comments and stuff. So if I'm missing something or there's something you want to add, please put it in the comment section below. Again, I know that I learn a lot when you guys chime in. Some of the stuff, sometimes I'm in editing and trying to keep the video from being way too long, which they usually are. I edit stuff out, and then later on you guys chime in and I'm like, I should have left that in there. But again, read through the comments. There's always good stuff down in there, especially if you're new and you're doing your research. Go check out the comments. If you like it, you know, comment too. Ask questions in there. I'll get back to you as best I can. And if not, a lot of the viewers and subscribers, it's like I have a lot of instructors in here too. A lot of my friends that are instructors watch this stuff, and we kind of help each other for references and teaching tools and whatnot. So if you have questions, put them down there and let me know what you think. Well, if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching or preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find me on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.